here I am, and I have to, oh, I guess I should have a better introduction. This is, I believe, my 9th video, and with it, I guess it's not really a milestone. Then it would be more of a milestone to celebrate, but anyways, what I have to say is, yes, I implemented a new system with these videos, one which will make the rambling, I guess, better, and rants better, all of that, because now I have something to actually think. I put up a Google Doc, and what I did was I put various topics, and I put ideas that I have about the topics in a short sentence, numerous times, for numerous topics. As of now, I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I plan to do to cover at least 3 of these in a video. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to cover at least 3 of these, and I guess I'll just begin. So, this is my first time doing it, so it's more of a test, to see if it goes well. If it doesn't, it sucks, but if it does, that's good. And I just put the microphone closer to my head, to my mouth now, so it should be better to hear. Okay, well, as of, I believe, not October, it was, I think, mid-September, probably September 14th, onward, I guess I'll preface this with some background. So I have this class called Reading for Fun, and what I do in that class is read, and I needed to get books for the class, and so I have a really big interest in history, so I got history books, and while I was looking for history books, I saw that there was a book called Columbine by Dave Cullen, and I watched the Columbine iceberg, like 6 hours of it, and I remember in that iceberg that it was recommended to read that book. So I did actually read some of that book, and I checked it out in the library. Seemingly no one noticed when I checked it out at all, like even the librarians didn't really know. However, that changed soon enough, and what I did was, I think I read up to like 30 pages of the book, and it just seemed kind of weird to me the way it was written. So I generally like reading books. Like when I read books, I like them to be more objective, like historical, just a telling of events, and less narrative driven. And I noticed that this Columbine book was really narrative driven, like, oh yeah, Eric was a charmer. So, yeah, it would say things like that, and other just general things that seem more in place in some PCC girls TikTok or something like that. And yeah, so I just generally didn't read that much of it. I would have read more of it if I wasn't so paranoid the whole time. So while I was reading that, I essentially decided to just keep it in my backpack, and then when the due date arrives, a day or two before that, I simply turn it in. However, when that day did arrive, I turned it in without issue, seemingly. However, the next day, I didn't turn it in, not like an assignment, but I just put the book back. I gave it back to the library, the school library. And the day after that, while I'm in my 5th period class, someone comes over with a note, and I'm told that I have to go to the counselor's office. I am very confused. Early, and on the day, unlike the previous morning, actually the previous night, my dad texted me like something weirdly ominous, but he had no idea about the Columbine thing at all. So like, don't ever do that ever, and I have no idea what he was referring to. I don't know what he was referring to even today. But anyways, yeah, I just didn't want to ask him. That doesn't seem like that would be good at all. But, but yeah, I was sent to the counselor, and so I had to talk to her, and she kept on saying these basic ass questions like, uh, d- d- do you think that the killers were bad? So, and of course, to avoid getting sent to a psych ward, to say, oh yes, of course, these killers are bad, and things like that. And when she's talking to me, she kept on like saying that, oh, you sound so intelligent, more intelligent than all the other kids I was talking to, and I just don't care. Like, oh yeah, you're complimenting me about my intelligence, but I don't care that you're complimenting me about my intelligence. I see you as a con artist that is trying to essentially rape me, trying to make me like, you're trying to make me think the way that you do, and you're trying to change my brain. Essentially, I think that's what she's trying to do, and gain information against me so that she can send me to wards and other shit like that. So, let me go back to this idiocy. Yes, so yes, I had that listed on my thing as pointless praise, because it was pointless praise. Yes, well, I may be more intelligent than the others and have all these strange interests. That doesn't mean, like, I don't want you to keep on praising me all over and over again. I don't care. I don't care when it comes from you, Miss Counselor. So, yeah, she kept on doing that, kept on pointlessly praising me, and at the end of it, I was being held, like, the entire time. I went through 5th period, and there was really nothing going on in 5th period. I always have everything finished by then, so it doesn't really matter. But but because of that, I wasn't even able to go to lunch. I wasn't even able to just watch videos in peace in lunch or browse Discord, because she had to come over and take me there for some shitty psychiatric evaluation, which didn't even do anything. She kept on asking me like how killers are formed and things such as that, and I gave an actual educated answer from all my research, and I simply said that it's society and other factors such as that, exclusion, tons of other things. Exclusion. I wish I had more of a script here to say it, but I think the viewer really likes the rambling, so I won't make a script for now. Anyways, so I'm over there and I'm talking to her. She keeps on saying like, oh yeah, so I do the whole explanation and shit, and it's kind of hard to remember what she said because she's just so annoying. Not really annoying, but I don't really have much respect for her, so I can't really remember what she said too much. She kept me there for so long. She kept on pointing out how my skin was turning a bit red because of nervousness. The whole time I was there were strange feelings in my head and things like that, but I just had to ignore it. So I was quite nervous, and she was correct in pointing that out, but it didn't matter. Anyways, I'll just skip on to another idea that I have. But at the end of it, it was quite normal. I walk out, nothing happens, and then, oh wait, yeah, she had to notify my guardians, and that was annoying because I had to have a talk with my grandfather, and it was fine. It was fine for him. He didn't really care that much. He just said, but he gave his whole spiel about how the NSA would be watching me and shit like that, and I would be on a watch list. But newsflash, there's millions of other chuds on chuds on a watch list. Like, I didn't tell him that, but I knew everything he was telling me about and more. But anyways, it was fine. So yeah, with him talking to me, my grandmother didn't even bring it up, thankfully. Anyways, that's it for that part. And during the talk, she kept on saying, oh yeah, we're not gonna watch you, 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 Mr. Odd Synthesis, Mr. Synthesis, we're not gonna watch you. But, would I was like, I have a feeling you're going to watch me. Oh, she also kept on asking me, like, what my opinions on the government are and things like that, and I said I don't really trust the government, but I didn't elaborate further. I said I could write a whole book on how I don't really trust the government and various things, but I didn't elaborate further on that. And she just kind of left it there. She kept on trying to, like, oh, to give me job ideas and things like that, but I don't really give a shit. Like, oh, yeah, you can do this because your mind is so great and all that, and, like, fuck, bitch, I don't even give a shit. Humanity is so bad that I don't if there's some gifts of my mind, I'm not really giving them that. I don't want to give them that. I don't want to give them any leverage, any more leverage than they already have. So, yeah, they don't deserve it. Anyways, yeah, so I'm pretty certain they are watching me, because around a week or two later, I was sent back into her office. It wasn't for anything I did at all, she just wants to check up on me. This was a much shorter one than the previous, but still I was there for a while, and he called me out. She called me out of, I don't know what period it was. Oh, it was out of 6th period, and yeah, thankfully I had nothing in 6th period as well, but I could really be a bitch in the future if she does that. I have assignments to do, and it was really basic, just sort of a reiteration of the previous one, but less questions, less all of that. She seemed to forget basic things. Like, I already told her that I've never had any friends. And she asked me again, yeah, I never had any friends. I guess it's something that she can't really believe, but yeah. So now I'm just being watched because, yeah, I'm autistic and they have to watch me now because I'm, dangerous, because I'm so dangerous, because I'm gonna, troll. I can't really say the word on here, but it kind of feels like she was insinuating very silently that I'm a threat or something like that. So she wants to watch me. I'm saying I'm not being watched, but I can tell. So, yeah, I go through that whole thing, and at the end of it, she says that she's gonna bring me there every couple weeks to check up on me, to the counselor's office, and I don't really know what to do now. So I basically just blindly agreed to it, to get her off my back, even though it'd make her put her on my back even more. So I feel like I should try to tell her to stop once I go to the 3rd one, because I'd have no interest in their services. Speaking of kicking the autistic, I'm so stupid. That's what I have listed as the general idea thing they talk about on my Google Doc here. And to illustrate this, recently, a few days ago, like 2 days ago, in my 7th period class, so another high school story, I was reading books, because that was the reading for fun class, and after I finished my book fully, there was about 7 or so minutes left of class. And during these 7 minutes, all I had to do, I just stared off and thought, but I was right next to the teacher's desk, and there were tons of things on that teacher's desk, one of them being an hourglass. Now, since I have attention deficit disorder, it's not too prevalent, but sometimes it is really prevalent. It's kind of rare for it to pop up like that, and this is one of those rare occasions. And the hourglass was there, and I just, the teacher's assistant was there, but the teacher wasn't present. So I lift up the hourglass to flip it. The teacher's assistant sees me, and the sand starts pouring down, and it's slightly loud, and of course, even if the teacher's assistant didn't see me, I would have put it back immediately. But, yeah, she sees me, she silently which tells me to fuck off and not do that. And I do as she silently suggests. And I also feel this big pain of energy. Energy which is generally negative. It's really terrible. Feels awful to me. And that same feeling is basically what prevented me from having a normal life in any semblance. Because if I get in trouble, I get that feeling. It's massive. And as a kid, I used to be a little bit of a troublemaker whenever I talked to anyone. Because I'd have fun. And the fun causes me to act out a little bit because of all the autism and the ADHD. So I just simply decided to stop talking to people and all that. And during the time I started to get sort of like seizures, and then I wasn't eating my lunch and just things like that. And I was forced to go to therapy, which didn't do shit. Which is another reason why I just don't like therapy or alluding to the school counselor. I could do her job 10 times better. But I'm not sure if I could really talk to patients. Maybe I could, because they'd be more like myself. But most of the times they'd just be some gay they'd just be some gay... they'd just be some individual. I'm trying to not get YouTube banning me, but they'd just be some individual like, oh, I'm kind of depressed. Oh, I have some anxiety. I can't speak. I can't speak in front of a crowd. Just some basic shit like that, or relationship problems. I don't care. I want to see the schizos. So, and my family sort of treats me like a zoo animal a little bit, because not really. I guess yeah, I don't really know why I put zoo animal for my family as one of the notes here, because they try to view me as normal or not. They don't even understand anything. Yeah. And finally, this leads to, I guess, the final thing I want to talk about on this video and ramble about. I have this constant thought in my mind sometimes. I can't go a day without thinking of it. But the phrase, the ending world, rings out in my head. And it makes me think about all these things that sort of show signs of the ending world. And one of these things is, as of recent times, several months, I guess, through late 2023 up to now, odd events have been happening, and they've been increasing exponentially. Odd, large events, odd and large, sometimes both, which I just feel some sort of sign, and everything's starting to become more incomprehensible for everyone. Things are changing rapidly. And also, if anyone knows what numerology is, I've developed a bit of an obsession with it, sort of. Mainly, it's the number 8, the year 2001, the year 2008, the number 23, the month of April, month of August, and just tons of other things. The number 16, 4 derivatives of 8, all those factors, just tons of things, and I feel like they've revealed things to me. And I'd rather not elaborate too much because it sounds like a complete schizophrenic. But yeah, it's interesting. Well, I guess I'm gonna end the video now.